The VIP of environments, page 26 and 27. So page 26 has the environment of war. So how I think about this is every environment is an entity. It exists as a being or a person, so it makes it easier for me to understand what's going on. So in the environment of war is a big scary place with lots of noise and blood and guts, and the emotion of fear is a constant companion, right? And we're familiar with that. So when you map out what an environment values, you can tailor to fit. So the first environment that I want you to work on, page 27, is in the mirror. This is you looking in the mirror. Is your value low, medium, or high to yourself? Be honest. You might look in the mirror and actually think, and a lot of people do this, I do it, right? I've had body image issues from being bullied. I've been like super skinny, then I've been overweight, all these sorts of things. So when I look in the mirror, they now don't trigger me, I'm just aware of them, okay? So when I look in the mirror, my value to myself is very high. Why? Because I choose it. Is my value when I look in the mirror every day going to be high? No. But then I can make that choice and say, hey, still the same person you were yesterday. All right, right down in here in our core values, but I can choose to be anyone I want. So my value's got to stay high in the mirror. But if it's not, that's okay. Stuff might have happened. You might be looking in the mirror and you're triggered for some previous trauma. You might be looking in the mirror and you've been teased your whole life for being overweight. And you might have an absolute six-pack and then have a little bit of baggy skin and target on that. But you need to be honest in this environment. When you're looking in the mirror, this is the most powerful environment for shaping everything else. Because the world is just a spotlight and an amplifier. That's all it is. If you're this person that likes being who you are and is a happy, fun person, you go out there, the world will amplify that. And it'll spotlight that. And I was sitting down having a coffee this morning when I do my Bible reading, I map out my task for the day. There's one lady that comes in and I know it's her before the door opens. Because I can hear some noise outside or some sort of giggle. She's made some passing remark to someone that I hear it and I smile. And she'll walk in and she just brings this joy when she walks through. She looks around the room, she looks over, and I just sort of look up and sort of wave. I've never spoken to her. And I just watch as she goes through this cafe. She's quite a big girl and she's got her hair's dyed. And she's just this larger than life energy bubble that walks in the room. Now, I don't know if she sees that in the mirror. She could be looking in the mirror feeling horrible. And so she takes on this identity when she comes out in the world. Or she could absolutely see that in the mirror and be like, yeah! And she brings that wherever she goes. I don't know. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see someone or something? Do you see the person or what happened to the person? Are you your best friend in the mirror or your worst enemy? Powerful, powerful environment in the mirror. Because you see what you see and then you choose what you want to see and you can work on whatever you want to work on. And so you can map it out down here. But then you get to map value, identity and purpose in the mirror. Very, very powerful. Take a breath. Whew. I take that one real serious because that's where all my struggles were, right? Now we go to the next environment, page 29, is at home. So at home, I am not this guy that's the founder of the Thelionacademy, all right? That is not my highest value set when I'm at home. My highest value set at home to my family is I'm dad and I'm babe, all right? So I'm a father and a husband. Now everyone said, your marriage should be the titles first, husband and wife together, and then father. It's not like that in our house, all right? I love my wife dearly. When we had kids, we both made an agreement. No matter what happens, we made the best decision for our kids. That's just what we decided as parents. And then through our journey of 24 years and our kids being 10 and 9, we get to go through different things in our marriage that keeps our value high. Sometimes I've got to go and work on myself. If I feel like too much of my energy is going outside of myself and self starts kicking back. Sometimes my wife goes away on holiday so she gets some peace and quiet. Because when you're a mum, you don't get a lot of peace and quiet. Or if you're solo dad, same. And so when you start mapping out the environment of home, I'll be honest with you, I work with a lot of people their value at home is a lot less than their value at work. And their value at home is a lot less than the value they see in the mirror. And people try and compensate and change identities and values. Alright? I want to put a downer on this, but this is real stuff. It's the VIP of mental health. Every piece touches the next piece. Every environment affects the next environment. Every piece of yourself affects the other part of yourself. Okay? So hopefully it's high, but if it's not high, you can see where it is. It could be in a communication style. It could be in a core value. It could be in what you have to do at home. Right. And the next one is at work or at school. So at work, what is your value when you're at work? How are you treated at work? You could be, and culturally this is a really big deal, and I've worked all around the world, and especially Pacific Island culture and Asian culture, you have a pecking order in the family, like your value at home. I mean, you could be a chief, right? And this happened a lot when I was working in Papua New Guinea. We could be at work, and one of my roles as a training manager, I'm training a whole lot of Papua New Guineans. And I might task the best operator to be the team leader. But in the village, that person is so much lower in value to the chief, who's the other guy there. Or someone might have a better level of language, so he gets given another role which puts his value higher than the chief, which creates issues back in the village. So understanding this concept when you're an international operator, very, very important. And New Zealanders and Kiwis, we do this really well. Anywhere we go around the world, you won't hear a bad word about Kiwis. Why? Because we have a fundamental core value that's matched everywhere else in the world, and that is what we call honouring tangata whenua, the people of the land. We have a visitor's mentality when we come somewhere. If I come to your country, I'm the visitor. It is your country. It is no different from me arriving at your house. I'm going to show you an enormous amount of courtesy and respect because it's your house. I'm the visitor, right? And so understanding how that works in different environments, not every culture has those core values. And this is a emotional, spiritual currency aspect of the core values. Because culture and spirituality are very, very tight in island cultures, right? And a lot of Asian and Indian countries as well, okay? So your environments that are most powerful is the mirror and at home. And then we go into the workplace. This is where I do my corporate culture consulting. This is where I increase engagement, productivity, and revenue. This is when I alter my language and I alter my identity to sit there and talk business language and corporate culture. But they're not going to listen to a guy in a hoodie. So when I come into corporate environments or corporate organizations, we're looking at what does this organization value and how do they communicate first. That's normally what I do. And then I always get a feel for the people that are there. Whether I've been on stage with guys like Mike King and All Blacks leadership, or I'm right up there when it comes to mental health, corporate bullying, corporate consulting. In the corporate world, it is about money. That's how a business survives. It makes money. So every part of that machine, no matter what you put on it, has to produce revenue. The more the better. And there's a whole lot of rules that each country legislates to create policy to make sure that we do it in such a way that it is safe and acknowledges and respects the people that work there, okay? The fundamentals of business. So when I come in here now to provide value to a business, my value to a business is to make them more money as the end state. Very interesting, because that is the business version of the P in the VIP of mental health triangle. What is this business value? Its purpose is to make money. But the differences between the businesses I've worked with is their identity. What is their corporate culture? What is their ethos? How, in what manner are they making money? Are they changing the world? Are they being super inclusive? Is this all positive energy? Or is it by putting a satellite drilling rig in the middle of nowhere that has no legislation or process and paying a couple $100 to the local chief of the village and sucking out $20 million worth of oil? Still going to make them a lot of money, but their identity, the manner in which they do it, will hit this in the other end. And if the employees inside your business, if you're breaching their core values or their communication style, they're going to do bare minimum, if anything at all. So here's an example of value in the workplace for anyone from a corporate or business background. If you take your yearly payroll and you multiply that by your staff disengagement percentage. How many of your staff are disengaged? You know, Facebook on the toilet or doing bare minimum. If you multiply those two together, that is your yearly loss in dollars. So for anyone that's coming from a corporate background, that's come through the program up until this point, that's thinking, yeah, it's pretty good personal wise, but how's it work business wise? Expensive if you get this wrong. In Australia, $4 billion with a B is the average loss across companies as a collective that prioritize productivity over well-being. Interesting, right? That is all emotional currency, all credibility currency, all personal currency that you need to honor in your people for them to do this process. 20% of people statistically are dealing with bullying. 20% are dealing with some sort of mental health challenge. That's 40% of your workforce already, with anything else that's going on in life. You need to understand this concept, and I'll show you a way to interpret into the processes and business you already have. With the mental health side of things, I run the VIP of mental health, subconscious bodyguards, make peace with the mirror, in conjunction with your EAP, your psychs and your counsellors. But if you don't understand this, and if you get this wrong, you are going to lose a lot of money. Don't believe me? COVID. We were number one in crisis leadership on LinkedIn during COVID. Why? Because we knew what to do. And we knew exactly how to communicate that lifted people's values and alleviated the emotion of fear. Now, what a lot of businesses found out was when they had to manage their staff remotely, when they were further away from their staff, the only connection they had was relationship. You hadn't built any relationships. You just got people to do as they were told, had a big stick over the top and used fear for obedience, like we do in the military, and recognize it. So when you were trying to manage them remotely, it's very, very difficult because there's no relationship. And if you keep trying to leverage fear, you lost them. Because there was a whole lot of companies out there like me that recruited our backsides off. I recruited so many contractors, and I did that many joint venture deals with people because I could communicate and lift their financial value. People that I already had relationships with. People I'm watching online. Someone would post on LinkedIn. Available for work, companies downsized, we've been let go. $1 billion company around the world, beautiful company, laid off 25% of their staff. A couple of those people that I knew, and I see them pop up on LinkedIn, I'm like, hey, you available for work? They're like, yeah, what have you got? So I can give you some contracts to do this, this, and this for what I'm doing with the academy. They're some of the best operators in the world. I've gone on and spoken at companies where I've met the HR manager who's amazing. Then I've met the next level up and I've looked at these leaders and like, I don't like these guys. I don't like how they're talking to these people. I'm looking at these employees, and when these people walk in the room, they're looking the other way. I'm like, man, they don't like these guys. Then I watched how things worked, and I looked at this HR manager and I said to her, you're not going to last here. And she just sort of looked at me like, oh, we'll see. Because she was trying to change that culture, trying to raise the value of employees. But the leadership above her did not care. Get them to do their job or sack them. Doesn't work. The new normal with social currency, it does not work. So, coming back now, put a lot of energy into that particular presentation on work and corporate and environments, because most people spend 70% of their life at work. So if Dionjensen has a core value of protecting and empowering people out there in the world, have to be in the workplaces. Have to look like I know what the heck I'm talking about. I've got to have credibility of clinically endorsed books behind me. I've got to have number ones on LinkedIn. I've got to be first Gold Class Speaker of the Decade. I've got to be the founder of the Lionacademy. I've got to be the guy that CEOs come to for coaching. And I coach CEOs, and I coach managing directors of businesses, and I coach high-level business people in my skill set of mental health, of crisis leadership, of strategy and planning. They're already experts in business, but something is falling apart in the VIP of mental health. And a lot of the time, which is actually quite positive to hear, a lot of the time is their emotional currency is taking a hit because they're laying staff off. They're making the perfect business decision, they have to, but it's killing them inside because they're laying off families that they know are going to go broke, can't help them. Powerful, powerful concept. If you can match the VIP triangle of your employees to the VIP triangle of your work environment, you are powerful, powerful, powerful. And then if you ever have to manage people remotely, it's no different. Because there's trust, and there's loyalty, and there's creativity, and there's looking forward to challenges, and teamwork, and overcoming things together, and family focus. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Next environment we're going to talk about is out here in the world, and I'll stay in the suit jacket because I'm very fortunate. I've created an identity for myself where the moment I put my suit jacket on, and this badge here is a poppy to honour all military veterans. I'm a veteran myself, and my unit core badge. But the moment I put a suit jacket on, I'm showing respect for a corporate or a professional environment. So I can turn up and speak with this t-shirt, because I'm the founder of the Lion Academy, and this suit jacket, and still show respect. The only time I will put a collar on is if I'm going for a high level government presentation, like I spoke to the Senior Enlisted Leaders Conference here in New Zealand, which is where every Allied commander came from, and telling my story, being the keynote speaker on mental health of my story as a fellow veteran. So I just put a collared shirt on, and this, I don't like wearing ties, I've got a fat neck, just don't like wearing ties. So I had a nice collared shirt on and that on. I put on an identity. It didn't affect my core values, but I was respecting the other core values. They're all in their number ones. So now out here in the world, who I see in the mirror is the same guy that everyone sees at home, that everyone sees here at work, that you see now out here in the world. And now you know that I can be here in a t-shirt, I can be here in a hoodie, or I can be here in a suit jacket. And when summer comes, I might even just have my cap on and a seat. But you must respect the VIP triangle of the environments that you're walking into. And if you're having meetings, understand the VIP triangle of the person that you're talking to. And then all the other generic trainings on communication, this, that, and the other, you can use this filter as the start. Or you can use it as an assessment of things going wrong. So, by page 35, you would have mapped this all out for yourself. If you're one of my mentoring programs, we'll one-on-one debrief it. But on page 35, I give the example of how I've learnt this concept because I've lived it. Failed school, joined the army, went to Bosnia for 6 months, joined the police, became a bodyguard, did low-level security, did probation, did corporate, did consulting, regional operations manager Asia Pacific. Then I became a speaker. Then I was doing corporate training and speaking. And then I did very well at speaking. And then I started creating all my online courses, and then I built the Lion Academy. So I just kept building and growing and failing until I could figure out how to match my personal VIP triangle, which I did first, to now my global business VIP triangle, which is the Lion Academy. And it'll be something else after, and something else after, as I get given more and more missions and more people to help. So the VIP of mental health is off a free ebook of the same name, which you already would have seen in the other module, but it's lived content. It is a way for you to help yourself and help others, whether it's specifically mental health, depression, anxiety, suicide, or corporate engagement, productivity, and revenue. It's the same. Why? Because people. And then from here, watch what's being posted, watch what's on the media. And is it a spirit of fear or a spirit of love? Where are they putting their value? How are they communicating? What identity do you have to take on to have higher value in that environment? Or what identity do you have to choose for yourself to have a high value for yourself? Those of you that have been through trauma, someone else has pulled your value down. You didn't do that, they did. So if you need to rebuild that, we can help you with that as well. So the VIP of mental health is the center. It's the center of our 3 mental health programs. First one is Making Peace with the Mirror. Second one is the VIP of mental health, hinging across with the mirror. And the next one is your subconscious bodyguards. How you will react in an environment of fear, trauma, or an overload of energy. You react the same way every time. And when you can understand that, create that, train your subconscious bodyguards, and no matter where you go in your life, rock solid in the mirror. You understand the VIP triangle for yourself and for other people and environments. And when the heat comes on, when the thunder rolls, you've got trained subconscious bodyguards to get you and your family or your business through it. And it's a lot of fun. Gives you a lot of confidence. Confidence comes from competency and results. Get competent and understand the VIP triangle for yourself and others and environments. It will make your life a lot easier. And in business, it will save you and make you a lot more money. Thank you very much for doing this course. If you want access to any of the other things or any other mentoring programs, click on the mentoring programs. And I look forward to protecting and empowering as many of you as I possibly can to then go and empower everybody else. Thank you very much for spending time with me. I look forward to talking to you soon. Leave some comments. Bye.